Before I go any further, I would like to say tolerance or intolerance is a state of the human mind, and it is not contained to religion alone. The main reasons for religious intolerance are, first of all, ignorance. The people don't know the essence and purpose of their own religion. Secondly, a big ego. People think no one knows, no one understands except themselves. Thirdly, selfish motives. People are using religion to gain something for themselves or their group. As a Muslim, I am often confronted by accusation that Islam is an intolerant religion. I am hoping to demonstrate here that this is not so. On the contrary, the Qur'an, our holy book, contains many verses telling the faithful to be tolerant and accepting other religions. Islam invites all mankind to live together as a family of God. Qur'an says, "O mankind, we created you from a male and a female and made you into nations and tribes that you know each other." Prophet Mohammed, peace be upon him, said, "All mankind are God's children, and those dearest to God are the ones who treat his children kindly." In the Quran, special attention has been given to the people of the book, that is, Christian and Jews. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, "Whoever persecutes a non-Muslim or takes work from him beyond his capacity or takes something from him with evil intentions, I shall be a complainant against him on the day of resurrection." He also said, "A Muslim who violates any of a non-Muslim's rights is considered committing a sin." To the true Muslim, all human beings are brothers and sisters in humanity, and the obligation of kindness, fairness, and consideration are due to them all. So, Islam acknowledges human rights and affirms the universal human brotherhood. In Islam, all people are equal before God. Quran also says there is no compulsion in religion. Muslims believe unless mankind can work together in cooperation, it will not be easy to achieve a harmonious society and fulfill the purpose of life. Many people think that Islam is another strange religious cult or sect, and Muhammad is worshipped by ignorant, illiterate, and fanatic people. And the Muslims are either militant, fanatical men with long beards and submissive veiled women, or rich and spoiled playboys. Indeed, Islam has been misunderstood and misrepresented, that many people think of it as an enemy to any sort of stability, peace, and progress. They mistrust it, fear it, and regard it as a threat without knowing anything about it other than what the media convey. Why is all this so? Number one, it is due in part to the history. Islam and Christianity confronted each other during the Crusades. Propaganda against the enemy and its beliefs is common during times of conflict. Secondly, a distorted picture of Islam is unfortunately presented by certain behavior of some Muslims who confess this faith but don't live with it, doing everything with it which it does not permit, and nothing which is required. This contributes to the distorted picture of Islam the media is conveying. Muslims should live according to the principle of Islam to convey an expression and an impression which represents their religion. Islam deserves to be represented accurately, to be understood correctly. Misunderstanding and misconception are mostly the result of ignorance. We learn rituals, but we don't know the meaning of them. All what we learn about the rituals is how to perform them, not why we perform them. We learn that we have to go to our churches, mosques, or synagogues to pray. But many people don't know why we have to pray. Because of that, we follow blindly the people who we believe know the religion. Some of them misinterpret religion intentionally or unintentionally, the way they want it to be, not the way it should be. So, we rely on such people to guide us, to advise us, and to teach us how to believe. It never comes to our mind to ask why we behave this way. My faith makes me accountable to God for all my intentions and my actions. To be a good Muslim, prayers and fasting are not enough. Self-discipline, forgiveness, abstaining from gossiping and interfering in others' affairs are also required. Revenge, injustice, and unfairness are condemned in Islam and are considered sins. By following the right path, many people can be prevented from doing wrong. If people adhere to their faith, it will improve their societies by reducing crime and incidents of violence. I think the wrong concept and misinterpretation of religion are the main causes of religious intolerance. We hear so often of Muslim women being treated badly in their male-dominated societies. The question is, how true is this? Is it their religion or their culture that is hindering their advancement and justifying their treatment? The majority of women in Muslim countries are not aware of their right given to them by Islam. This shows in their behavior and mode of conduct, whether it be dress, education, marriage, or in other parts of their lives. They are almost blinded by cultural tradition and habits of behavior, which is preventing them from finding out what rights they actually have. They behave and accept being treated as their mothers have behaved and were treated for centuries because they believe this is part of Islam. For example, girls being forced into arranged marriages is not accepted in Islam. Female circumcision, often referred to as an Islamic practice, it is an African practice not allowed in Islam. However, education of men and women is recommended by the Qur'an. It is a duty of Islamic societies to change the living conditions of women. Islam is a total way of life and a complete system controlling all aspects of existence. It requires belief and actions, which means a particular way of worship, of human interactions, of living habits, and of family life. Many problems we are facing today are basically of a spiritual nature. The solution to them is the correct understanding of our religion, our relationship with God, and our acknowledgement of our role and purpose in this world. It is a self-destructive way of life if we think that life has no meaning. If it is filled with love and compassion for others, it contains both. God says in the Qur'an, "Not without purpose and meaning did we create heaven and earth and all in between." And again says, "Did you think that we create you for nothing?" We have to be grateful for the many positive things we are enjoying day after day. There are millions of people living on this earth, and we who live in developed countries are fortunate not to have to strive just to survive. We have the means and opportunity to communicate with each other so that we will be able to preserve our peaceful society.